What's up YouTube, this is Alex from Team Satisfactory coming at you with an Inzektor deck profile for the April 1st, 2015 format. Let's get going. So this deck was asked for in the comment section. It's a deck I personally really still enjoy, and I enjoy taking to a tournament or playing against friends every now and again. And I just, I don't want to see more of it, frankly, because it's really obnoxious and it's a really good deck, especially against not meta stuff. But the deck has a lot of potential, does really explosive plays, and gets you crazy card advantage, all with basically one card. So, let's get going. Alright, so first off you run the one copy of Inzektor Hornet. This card is broken. You equip it to an Inzektor, then you take it off, and then it destroys one card on the field. This card, on like good days, on good turns, you get +2, +3 from it. It's absolutely insane, borderline unfair, but this is the heart of the deck pretty much. Now the soul of the deck I would say is Inzektor Dragonfly. When you pair these two cards up together, you can pretty much always get out a win, because the card advantage you get when you combine Dragonfly and Hornet is unreasonable. So you equip Hornet's Dragonfly, you detach, blow up a card on the field, special summon a monster like a Centipede, equip again, blow up another card on the field, search with Centipede. So in one turn, you turn these two cards into -2 for your opponent, and +1, +2 for you, so it's a net +4 pretty much, if you got off this combo properly. Or it's a really dumb combo, but it's what makes this deck good, and what makes this deck run. And the whole point of my deck, or the deck I built, is to get to these cards as quickly as possible. For other monsters, you run 3 Centipede. He's the other good Inzektor. You equip him with Hornet or Ladybug, detach, get a search off. Really good card, and also a decently large body, especially with a Zeth Caliber or Giga Mantis on him. He gets to about 2400. Overall, he's a really good 3-of, and pretty much like the only 3-of monsters you run in this deck. One Inzektor Hopper. This is a utility card. He also serves as another monster to normal summon and equip your bugs to. Also, his effect to equip him and let you attack attack directly helps you win some games, like steal wins or get out a hard win in late game. So he's a good card. He's a good 1-of. I'd always run him at least 1. I run 2 Ladybug. Ladybug is your level manipulator, and just overall a very good card to have. Basically, she has synergy with other cards I have in the deck. But also Ladybug lets you get into your 3 through 5 X by Z engine, and it gives this deck a lot of options in terms of what we can run in the extra deck. On top of that, you run the 1 Giga Mantis. This card is like the unsung hero of the deck. I'm tempted to start running 2 of him. He's actually really good. But basically, you equip him to a monster, and then that monster gets 2400 attack. And when he is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Inzektor monster and special summon it. So one of my favorite plays of all time is you open up with a Dragonfly, equip it with a Ladybug, no, not a Ladybug, a Hornet, and then a Inzektor Giga Mantis. You can blow up your own Giga Mantis with Hornet. Then Giga Mantis, you get a special summon a monster like a Centipede from grave. Hornet, you get not Hornet, Dragonfly, you get a special summon a card from the deck. And then, assuming you also have this, basically you can special summon all 3 of these, because if you have 1 in the grave, you can use Giga Mantis effect to summon it. And then because Dragonfly had 2 equips on it, you can summon 2 from the extra deck. So overall, I call this combo, like, it's very rare, but it's also like devastating, and you just get 4 cards on the field and 3 more Hornet Pops or Ladybug effects if you want to do that. So overall, the monster lineup, this is the main actual Inzektor monster lineup. I think it's pretty good right now. I might fiddle around with a Giga Mantis because he sets up some really dumb plays, but he can also be a little dead. So it's kind of personal preference, but I like a minimum 1. I might do 2. For other monsters, you run 3 Mathematicians. This card is just a solid card. It lets you dump things like Hornets and Ladybugs, and basically cards you don't want to draw. And when he's destroyed by battle, you get a search. You get to draw a monster. Good card, good 3-of, and also he's good for fueling your 3 engines. And Ladybug can increase Mathematician's level as well, so you can use him to make your 3s, 4s, and 5s. Very good card. 2 Summoner Monk. You run these guys to get to your Lavolval Chain, because Chain does some really good things. To go with these Summoner Monks, you also run 1 Armageddon Knight, because one of your best opening plays is Summoner Monk pitching a spell, special summoning Armageddon Knight, sending Hornet to grave, and then you overlay for a Lavolval Chain, and then you put a Dragonfly on top. So if you get off the combo here, which I really like, you get a Dragonfly and a Hornet locked and loaded for your next turn, and it's a really good combo, really good opening play. And this way you run the 1 Armageddon Knight and the 3 Mathematicians. You also want to run 1 Dark Arm Dragon. You can manipulate your graveyard so well in this deck. Dark Arm is almost never dead. Not to mention that you can also load up your graveyard with tons of monsters quickly with your Mathematicians, and your Armageddonites, and just how one of the main problems with Inzektors is how quickly they power through their monsters and whatnot. So you can manipulate the grave and then power through it, and fuel Dark Arm with fodder. Now I run 2 card. This deck's big issue is, in fact, consistency. And if you open up card and set backer, you can usually be safe. I like running 2 card. It lets you draw more cards, dig deep, and it helps keep up the consistency of this deck. That rounds out the monster lineup. Moving on to spells. I run 2 Pot of Duality. This is my golden number for decks that have to special summon but also need to search deep. Lets you search deep, dig 3. This card is also very good with Centipede because Centipede can use a Hornet or a Ladybug, and your Pot of Duality doesn't stop the Centipede from getting to use its effective searching. So Pot of Duality and Centipede is a really good combo, and it's why I justify using this card at 2. 3 would be too much because you like to special summon in this deck. 2 Zexcalibur. This card is really good. Gives your Inzektor a 800 attack point boost, and when it's destroyed, you can add an Inzektor from the graveyard to the hand. It's just a really good card, and I would always run it. And as I said before with the Giga Mantis, it sets up really dumb plays with Dragonfly. After that, I play 2 Insect Imitation. This card's really good because it lets you send basically a level 2, either a card car or a Ladybug. Or a Ladybug, or even a Hornet to the graveyard. And then you get a special summon an Insect, which is 1 level higher. So my favorite play is sending a Ladybug to the grave, special summoning a Dragonfly or a Centipede, and then going off of that because, sure, it's technically a -1, but it takes a really bad monster like a Cardcore or a Ladybug and turns into a really good monster. So it helps keep up with the consistency and keeping the deck plays rolling. It's also a good opening hand with Ladybug. Double MST. You don't need a lot because Hornet deals with a lot of back row really quickly. So you don't need a lot of MSCs in this deck, but this is mostly for dealing with things like pendulums or stopping opponents' cards on their turn or chaining. So you run 2 MST. I wouldn't run 3 because Hornet on its own is worth 4 MSTs, 5 MSTs in one game. So Hornet's pretty good. 1 Foolish Burial. You want to see Hornet and Ladybugs in grave as quickly as possible. Foolish Burial helps that. 1 Book of Moon. Skillful spell card. I like it. 1 Dark Hole. This could be a Raigeki, but I'm trying to make this build very budget friendly and like a cheap build, not so much the best Inzektor build possible, but like a deck that anyone can afford. So that rounds out the spell lineup. Moving on to traps, I run 3 Call the Haunted. You might say, wow, why do you run 3 Call the Haunted? Basically because with your monster lineup, if you can call the Haunted back a Dragonfly, you can recycle that effect because Dragonfly makes this card worth running at 3. Because of how powerful it is. Dragonfly, I said before, you can get level 3 XYZ after having destroyed 2 cards in your opponent's field, or you can get a level 5 to deal some serious damage to their field. I run 3 Call the Haunted. It's just too good of a card in this deck. It lets you reuse your dead Inzektors because once you power through them all, you just can't really do much. But this is where this card comes in. It helps to deal with the whole, oh no, I've burned through my entire Inzektor lineup. Now what? After that, I run a surprising triple Mirror Force. This is mostly because I run Pot of Duality and Card Car. I want a trap card that will cover me in the battle phase from taking a ton of damage, and 3 Mirror Force really keeps me safe. It also lets me punish my opponents for overextending and making plays that are otherwise not exactly optimal. On top of that, you run 2 Dimensional Prison. Basically, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just leave my Inzektors on the field to try and be greedy and try to get another round of Hornet Pops for next turn, but they're all pretty low attack, at least I'm a little vulnerable. So you have 5 battle traps basically to keep them safe. 1 Fiendish Prison, or not Fiendish, Fiendish Chain. Good for effect negation and also stops an attack. 1 Solemn Warning for saying no to things, and Bottomless Trap Hole for stopping big monsters. I'd consider tossing a Compulsion here, maybe for one of the battle traps. But I just really like the battle trap lineup in this deck because it keeps your life points safe and lets you perhaps go a little bit greedy on your Inzektor Hornet Pops. That runs out the main deck. The extra deck here is not complete. This is just kind of like a skeleton of cards I think you must have. Frankly, I loaned all my 5s to my Constellar brother who's off playing with them right now, so I don't have them. But this is for like a skeleton. 1 Level Chain. This card is what makes this deck good again. Basically, after this card came out, bought it when it was pretty cheap, and then I started running it in Inzektors, had a lot of fun. It single-handedly increases the consistency and speed of this deck to a unfair level. So I consider running one of these, maybe even two, because if you lose one, you might want to get the other one back. But its effect also is good for sending monsters to the grave, or for putting hornets or dragonflies on top and whatnot. Two Leviair, probably would only run one, but sometimes your cards get banished and you want to get them back. The whole deck is under level 4, so this works well. One Dark Rebellion Exposé Dragon, just good for a beat stick, which this deck doesn't really have. Like, except for a really funny combo. What you can do to a Ladybug is your opponent will be like, okay, you'll be like, okay, my hand's pretty dead, but I have a Ladybug. So you normal summon Ladybug. Then you go, okay, I'm going to go ahead and equip to it a Hornet, where you at? A Gigamantis, and an Inzektor. Your Ladybug now has a whopping 3,700 attack, and it has a Hornet that can be used to pop your opponent's cards offensively. And when it goes to the graveyard, your Inzektor will allow you to recycle either the Gigamantis or the Ladybug, or even the Hornet if you want that back in the hand. But basically, like, the deck has some good synergies and some really solid plays, which you think it might not have. But so I mean, yeah, like that's one way of getting a beater, but this is a much easier way of getting a beater off a Dragonfly play. For threes, again, Zen mains, good for defense. And then some sample fives are Shark Fortress. Shark Fortress plus Dad is an OTK, so you want to run that, really nice. It's I've won many games just by using Hornets and then Dad popping the field, then making a 5-play summoning Shark Fortress and attacking for game. Armady, Adrius and Tyrus, the level 5s, Angel and Demon XYZs, I think. Tyrus is better than Adrius, but you probably can fit both because they're both pretty solid cards, but if you don't, there's also Volcasaurus and a couple other good 5 options. And then one exa-stag, it's like a level 5 version of a 101. You can also run a 101, but this is a lot cheaper, and it can also be equipped with a lot of Inzektor cards. Okay, well that rounds out my Inzektor profile for the April 1st, 2015 format. Let me know what you think about this deck and what you think you would add, because frankly this isn't a deck I have picked up often or picked up much anymore, but I still do enjoy it, and I would like any tips or any discussion in the comments below about what you think people can do with this actually pretty fun deck. Alright guys, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and this is Team Satisfactory, out.